Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's get into the World Cup vibes now as we continue our countdown to the 21st edition of the FIFA World Cup that will take place in Russia. Before we get into that, 66 days now, 66 days. We started this countdown when it was 100 days to go. Now it's 66 more days. So if you're part of those that think that the World Cup is still far away, look at it right now. It's just 66 more days to go. Let's welcome my colleague, Yemi Adebayo, joins us now in the studio. Yemi, good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Thank you very much, Austin.
And welcome back. It's quite some time.
Thank you.
Yemi, 66 more days. You feeling the fever?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if anybody thinks the World Cup is not going to hold in Russia, forget it. You know, 8 years ago when all this kind of broke, some were saying probably Russia and Qatar.
No,
Qatar is far away, but Russia is going to happen. When you know it was 100 days to go, I mean, everything was set. The signs were there that the Russians were ready, and you know there are always those usual stories of this one not ready, that one not ready. But when the game starts, everybody forgets about all of those.
Everybody starts talking about the Cristiano Ronaldo, the Lionel Messi, of course, John Obi Mikel. Talk about Alex Iwobi. They'll talk about what are you talking about? Talk about African teams. So that will push away all of the distractions. But Russia, they've been focused. And one place that they're giving 100% attention is infrastructure. They're giving us state-of-the-art stadiums. And we've been profiling those stadiums for you to see, to let you know the sort of money and attention Russia is giving. Today, we'll let you see the Spartak Stadium. Yes, the Spartak Stadium is ready. I mean, when you look at the World Cup, one area that a country can use to brag is the stadiums.
Yeah, facilities, majorly. And I mean, if you don't have facilities, you're not ready. The Russians, I mean, just ensuring, pulling all the stops, putting all the facilities in place, ensuring that everything is in tip-top shape, so that when the fans come, you know, they'll see the facilities. And I mean, good on the eyes, a lot of things being done. I mean, spending real.
I mean, look at that.
I mean, real money is a 45,000
$430
capacity stadium.
million US dollars.
The Russians need to post whatever they make after the World Cup so that we can see if it is money well spent.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, if you're going to host the World Cup, you know you're going to spend money. And the Russians well aware of that, and they're doing everything. You've seen some of the games that will take place in that venue. You have the round of 16 game. You have about 4 matches that will also be played, and you also have 45,000 people can get to the stadium. I particularly love what the Russians started during the Confederation Cup. They do have somewhat of a negative reputation. People thinking hooligans might show up, the thugs might show up. But the Russians are saying, look, we're ready for you.
We'll have them.
So just come and watch the games, no trouble. Maybe the England fans, you know, my word of advice, behave yourself. The Russians are ready.
When they see the sort of money the country is already spending to host the world, they will behave. They will behave. It's football. It has this thing of just making persons just wait. Particularly when their team starts doing so well, everybody will rally around the team. So there you go, the Spartak Stadium right there in Russia, also getting ready to host the World Cup. Back home, we've been talking to ex-internationals, we're talking to coaches, because the Super Eagles of Nigeria, they will be competing at that World Cup. We love the vibes we're seeing from the team, and some ex-internationals are giving their views. Don't forget one that I've tagged Prophet Daniel Amokachi. He says an African team can get to the final, and if Nigeria gets to the final, who says Nigeria cannot win the World Cup? So we've brought a lot of ex-internationals. We had Samson Siasia in the studio, Austin Eguavon, we had Waida Kani, we've got a lot of them on the field, we talked to them. Let's listen to Finidi George. Yes, Finidi George played at the World Cup, and he says, look, it's Sarah's business. Let's listen to him.
We want them to take us to the next level, get into the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and maybe, play in the finals. That's what we want. Is that going to happen? I don't know. All is possible in football, but I doubt it very, very much. There are different ways of competing. You can compete and you get knocked out in the round of 16. Which we already know Nigeria is capable of doing, but how do you get further? That is what we want. Do we have a team that can take us there? I don't know. The success of a coach lies on the players. He should play his best players, try to impact the players during the game, and with maybe making good changes and see how the team will function.
So that's it. Some are super eagles, a winger, attacking midfielder, creative, not so fast, but gets into that 60-yard box and then it will cause damage. Finidi Judge says, look, we need to take it one step at a time, but also improve. And I totally agree with him here because the World Cup is very unpredictable. So you must be ready for any surprises.
Yeah, no surprises. I agree with everything he said. We're quite capable of getting to the round of 16, but what happens from there? I believe, you know, based on experience, we've done it a couple of times, 3 times. So, I mean, you would want to think we can get to the round of 16. But from that point, that's when the job is, can we do it? We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, as a patriotic Nigerian, you'll be hoping that we get all our issues sorted out so that we can get there. And that thing we call luck, too. Yeah. It's very crucial because you look at the set that it was part of. They were good enough to get to the semis or quarterfinals.
That's true. That's true. So that's it for Team Nigeria at the World Cup. We will continue to sample opinions, get views of ex-international coaches, and of course you, the fans, as regards what the team can do at the World Cup. I mean, it's just 2 months to the World Cup, and Japan. I don't know. The coach that qualified them for the World Cup said goodbye. We don't want anymore.
Talking of Hsalilhodzic. I told him to go, and they brought somebody who's been in the system for a while. Talking about Akira Nishino, he's been brought. I don't know. I think they're pressing the self-destruct button. Manager that qualified you for the World Cup, and the excuse was he didn't do well in the 2 friendlies they played recently. And I said, no, we've been looking at him before the friendlies. It's not because of the friendlies, but even the friendlies shows us that he's not capable of taking us to the World Cup. It's a double speak. So I'm like, what do we believe? Was it because of the friendlies, or was it because you've taken the decision before that? And 2 months of the World Cup, you bring in somebody whose experience questionable because it's just been the Japanese league. But we'll see what happens. And the funny thing that I also read was they said their chances of winning the World Cup has increased by 3% with this decision. And I'm wondering, whatever that means, but we'll see. It's brave coming from the Japanese FA
and
to do this 2 months.
It might just be the self-destruct button because at this point you want continuity. He understands the team. He made the team, and qualifying for the World Cup is big deal. So now you know countries are not smiling with the World Cup. Japan says we don't care if the World Cup is tomorrow. We don't want this coach. So let him go, and then we'll start something else. That's it with the World Cup vibes. Let's get out of that zone, and we'll come back. We'll talk about La Liga and their partnership with Nigeria. Don't go anywhere. Stay.